Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the last video of today. Because we're doing well on this 18 April 2085. Happy Saint Friday. I know it's a better word for it, but I don't know what it is, so we'll call it Saint Friday. You can see the sun is rising behind us. Doesn't matter. We've been up since 4 yesterday. It is 9 o'clock right now, so about 17 hours. This is the last video of the day though, so even if I'm a bit tired, doesn't even matter. Sharing of the day, communication, and how it is still hard for me. I think I've talked about this subject multiple times before, right? But I'm gonna keep on talking about it and possibly do very, very similar videos until I fix it, because it has to be something that is a current event or theme or concept. Even concept, I think concept is the perfect word actually, in my psyche or my mental. Right now, there's multiple reasons as to why. The first reason as to why is very, very simple. I've had a problem this week. So 3 days ago, something happened. If you guys know, you know. If you don't know, it's not a big. Well, it's a big deal, but it's nothing that I'm not gonna recover from. It's something that can easily be solved. It's gonna take some time. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal because it's a large amount of money. So we owe the government a lot of money. We owe 13,000 to the government, right? And it's, I was sad. That's why I haven't been live, right? And can I film, please? Thank you. The bird left, which is crazy. Look at this, guys. Can you see it on the fence? It's a beautiful bird. It's a beautiful bird. Hirondelle. And then again, I wasn't able to talk about it. I wasn't able to say, hey, this is why I'm not gonna go. Now, ultimately speaking, I'm super lucky because there's some people that reached out and really talked to me like, hey, what's up? Why are you like that? Or why are you sad, right? And I was able to talk about it. But if those people weren't forthcoming or not insisted, but made the first move, I guess, I would have not talked about it. And it is a problem because I don't have a problem with communication when it comes to little subject, right? So tip of the iceberg type shit. But the tip of the iceberg is great only. I'm so tired. I'm hearing fucking noise that are not happening. So the tip of the iceberg doesn't serve purpose, right? And ultimately speaking, and I'm saying this is possibly too much information, but it's not genuine. So it's not genuine at all. So, for example, I'm not doing well. I'll say, hey, there's a nice weather outside, right? It's a really nice weather outside. And like, yeah, it is. But then, like, why is he telling me this? Because the guy's not doing okay, right? So he's pretending like he's doing okay, and because he's pretending like he's doing okay, he's gonna say, hey, what nice weather outside, instead of saying, can we talk? I have this problem. And ultimately speaking, it's a lot easier to just not avoid subject. It's just easier to do that. But then the easiest way out isn't always the right way, and there's sacrifices to be made. There's sacrifices to be in multiple ways, more than one. You should be able to talk to people, and again, most people won't care about the problem. That's fine, but I have been able to talk about it. It's one thing that I'm able to say that people don't care. Another thing, if people care and I cannot say it, I can blame them, but I don't want to blame myself. Because if I blame myself, then I'm the part of the issue. I'm the root of the issue, and we have to cut the roots, right? So communication. And it's always been a problem, right? You can tell that when I'm speaking fast, I'm either nervous, right? Or my ideas are jumbled up. I'm seeing a lot with my father right now. He's stuttering a lot. And he keeps on saying that he's tired, but I think it's a lack of confidence. Because again, he's not working anymore, so he doesn't have the same purpose as he used to, and that possibly mine, like a miner. Mine is confidence in himself, right? So yeah, that sucks. But at the same time, that's him. So with communication, I think it's important because imagine, right? Somebody asks you, and I have wonderful people that are there for me. I've been so impressed with the amount of people that are there for me, but at the same time, you're, and I was honest with them. I was honest. I say, hey, this is the problem, right? At the same time, if they haven't reached out, I would have not talked about it, right? So it's not really a victory. It's more so like, hey, a teamwork, which is great. I love teamwork, but you're not always in a team, right? Teamwork cannot be a replacement or the only solution to every single day problem. Because if it is, then when you're gonna be alone, you're fucked, right? And proper French. So I've been having problem with communication, right? And even like last week, I was talking to my mom and I was talking about the problem, and she kept on calling me, on telling me to calm down and just relax and don't talk fast. And ultimately, she's right. I shouldn't stress, but the reason why I was stressing is because she told me 4, 5, 6 times. I'm getting angry, right? And then I got mad and I told her stop saying that. But then I was rude about it, right? I didn't mean to be rude. And instead of just the first time saying, okay, I understand, please, I waited until I had this overflowing cup. And now I'm overflowing, the cup is overflowing, and there's a water damage everywhere. And like, hey, what happened? Well, the cup was overflowing. And then people are like, yep, why did you let it overflow? I don't know. Communication is super important. And it's something that I'm learning. For example, we did a video this winter, right, where I had this person who well, even last week, right? Even last week, I had this girl who, she asked me to come up, right, in the TikTok live, and I said yes to her before. But then I was like, in my mind, I was like, I don't want to be having the same people over and over and over and over again, because then it's not my content, it's our content, and I've been working so fucking hard, right? So I told her no. And then she got mad at me, right? And I'm gonna be honest, this girl, we're not really close, right? She's a nice person, but we're not close. Like, if it wasn't for the live, we wouldn't talk. And there's also this understanding, and again, it doesn't come from my understanding, come from her saying that she's bored. She doesn't really care about the content, she's just bored. And again, I don't think that I'm not forcing you to care about the content, but it's not because you're bored that the world is yours. So we had to tell her no. Or again, 3 months ago, I'm sorry. There was this girl, right, and she wanted to talk every single day. And the truth is, back then I was working a lot. I was working a lot for the content, filming 5-6 hours a day, plus the video games, right? And she wanted to talk every single day. And I didn't know her. And I'm like, hey. After a couple of days, I'm like, hey, I don't know you. And she blocked me, and I felt bad about it, but I could have just pretended. I could have just ignored her. I could have stopped answering. I could have blocked her, I just thought the right thing to do was to be honest. So communicating is still very much a problem. Understanding when you're talking too much, understanding when you're saying something hurtful, Communicating, the fun thing with communicating is there's two forms of communication. There's monologue, right? And there's dialogue, right? And now we're doing a monologue, which we're good at. But dialogue, there's also this understudy of society. So I'm talking to this person, this is how they react. I'm going to change my approach to them versus how they react. So for example, you're not going to tell someone that's aggressive, fuck you, right? You might think it, but you're not going to say it because you're going to get angry, right? Now, does it mean that you should tell somebody that's not aggressive, fuck you? No, it doesn't mean that, right? But understanding that this is a nucleus versus a genesis. Nucleus, which is an explosion, a genesis, which is the birth of something, right? Like I said last week, I was looking for a girlfriend. I'm looking for more friends, right? So we're talking with a lot more people, and then a lot more different people. Now, technically speaking, I might have a girl. I don't know how she feels about me, but I really like her. I think she does. She likes me too, but I don't know. And with communication, it's important, right? It's important because then again, why don't I know how I feel about it? How she feels about it? Because I didn't ask her, right? Why did I not ask her? Because I don't know how to ask her. Why do I don't know how to ask her? Because I don't know how to communicate. Understand? So it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious circle also. So yeah, so communication, and what I was talking like I was talking about, a monologue and a dialogue, and a monologue is so simple because you don't want to watch this video, just change videos, right? But the dialogue, you're actually talking to this person, you're having a conversation, right? And even yesterday, I was going to apply to places, right? And I was talking to the secretary, and I was trying to make a conversation with her, but she would answer me with one or two word answer, and then in the moment I was like, she doesn't care. Why are you trying to talk to her? So I stopped. Was it the right thing to do? No. Was it what she wanted? Yes. Did it matter in the end of the day? No, but she still did the right thing, It's understanding people and communication. But then it's also a circle. It's also a cycle, because how can I understand people if I don't talk to them? Am I supposed to observe and say, okay, well, I think he's like that? No, you're not. You're supposed to talk to them. You're supposed to have confirmation. Once again, this person feels that way about the subject, right? I'm not going to talk about somebody that had a miscarriage. She had a miscarriage. I'm not going to talk to her about abortion. Doesn't make any sense. But if I don't know that she has a miscarriage and I talk about abortion and I can hurt her feelings, even though it's not, I don't want to hurt her feeling, that could happen, right? And that's a bad thing. That's a really bad thing. So how do you fix that? Well, you're pretty much obligated to be more aware of the situation of your surrounding. That includes communication, right? Also, it's really tough because my father's been talking a lot about renovation. And I just don't give a fuck, That's not my type of things. I don't have interest in that. But still, it makes him happy. So you're supposed to be listening to other people, and it makes them happy. He doesn't care about the content that creates. They talk about it, So it's complex. It's the way of society is living in society. It's living together. It's cohabitation, right? Versus isolation, right? I think we're becoming more and more hermits versus nomad, right? And as an hermit, you don't have to do socialization. As a nomad, you have to work together, right? Now, the biggest fear with that is if you don't learn to communicate, it's not a big deal, right? The biggest fear with that is generation after generation after generation after generation after generation is always going to go down and down and down and down and down and down and down, right? So the communication. So, as for example, as we saw years ago, talking about decades ago, people knew their neighbor's name. They knew the neighbor's name, right? If hey, this is him. They knew the kid's name. I swear to God. And this is my time. I give you guys my word. And I used to be, when I was at my father's house, right? We had two neighbors, and God bless them because they were nice people. But God bless them because we always had the same fucking neighbors, right? And we had Bobby Lee's, which are our sweetheart. Bob died recently. So rest in peace, Bob. He was a really, 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 really nice guy. Really nice guy. And Lise also, she's an amazing woman. Then we had Jean-Claude and Claire. Claire, she was crazy. She was hard to deal with, but Jean-Claude was a fucking sweetheart, And my father, he was able to talk to them almost on a daily basis, just like, hey, how are you? And then he has a new neighbor because they both left. They're both older, right? Again, I'm 32 years old, right? So at 32 years old, if you bought your house at 30 and I wasn't born, it's so that you're retired, right? And now he has neighbors, right? And now those neighbors, they're new, and they put a binder to have privacy. And it offended my father, right? It offended him. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, if they want to put a binder, what's the problem? You have a girlfriend, talk to her. You don't need to talk to the neighbors. Talk to your girlfriend, right? But then I realized that he isn't wrong. What he does, what he's trying to say is, those are not the way we used to do things, right? And then what I'm trying to say is, there's gonna be a time where we're so unequipped to deal in society, right? So, for example, right, and again, this is too much information, but like I said last week or 2 weeks ago, I was looking for someone, right? And of all places, don't ask me why, I went to Reddit. So I had to download Reddit for something. So I was a small YouTuber. That was fun. So that was really fun. And then I was also looking for relationship and things like that, right? And I did a a Google search of how to know she's into you. Now my old algorithm was about relationship, right? So I go on Reddit and I'm starting to see single near me, but not the ads where it's a fucking porn star, and oh she's single, she's next to you, right? No, real people. Ads like a Facebook marketplace. They were selling themselves, and when I'm saying selling themselves, I mean in the most beautiful ways. Hey, this is what I look like. This is me. Here's around. This is my town. Here's my likes, my hobbies, and ultimately speaking, of course, there's this. It's complex because there is this there is this need. So you're not communicating because you want to. You're communicating because you need something, which is the relationship, right? But at the same time, people put themselves out there, and some of those, of course, some of those were very minimalistic, but some of those were fucking virtuals, right? And they knew exactly how to describe themselves. Now, ultimately, it's not their first posts, right? They possibly did better. They possibly learned from their mistakes, right? But it's still something that was beautiful. And ultimately speaking, this is a form of communication, right? And again, this is my own perception. This is not the truth. But you think that you're a good narrator. You think you're a good talker. But then you're seeing how simple it is for them to describe themselves. And then you're like, okay, well, I was looking for a girl. Now we found one. I think, I'm not sure. We're looking for a girl. And now all of those people, they have this complete intro. This is me, this is my hobby, this is my blah, 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 blah. Respectfully. So then you're like, okay, well, this is how you do it, right? So I go on my profile. Hey, my name is X. I'm X. I live in the region of X. And then you have a writer's block. And you're like, what the fuck? Then you ask yourself the question. It's because I don't know myself, right? No, I do know myself. Thank God I know myself. And because you're not able to verbalize the person that you are, that's when you understand how little talent you have in communication, right? And ultimately speaking, right? I'm going back to the relationship because again, something that's really, really nice that I'm really grateful for right now. But as I told you guys, when I was younger, I was never complimented. I didn't have a relationship before later in life, right? Why does this stop? This always stop recording. What the heck? What the heck? 27 minutes? Okay, not bad. There you go. This is the same video. Perfect. This is perfect. Okay. So then, was that thing? Yeah. So as a kid, I never had to deal with a girlfriend, right? And yes, I had friends, but those friends were more often than not school friend. So when we're at school, we're friends. I'm not friends with you outside of school, right? So the girlfriend, the same thing, right? And then you realize that you have this like a kind of weakness, right? Yeah, this weakness, and like, I'm not sure what to do, right? And then you realize that life goes on. You change the way you look, right? You get more confident because of the video, and then you're starting to have girl interested in you. And of course, it all comes at the same time, and they're interested in you, and they want to get to know you, blah 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 blah, respectfully. And then you're like, okay, well, I had this amazing girl in front of me, right? I had this amazing girl in front of me. She's interested in me. And I don't know what the fuck to tell her, you know. And that's a problem. It's not a problem because you didn't know how to talk to her. It's a problem because you didn't know how to communicate. This one's time, this two time, right? Somebody that asks you, hey, how do you feel? You don't know how to describe how you're feeling. I don't know. It's just an odd thing. It's just a really odd thing. Anyway, enough communication for now. I'm going to sleep. Love you guys. Take it easy.